Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
He's very much in the Dak, where I was like, he's a grown up. You can get to the playoffs with him.
He's a franchise quarterback.
That's right.
But that's it. Like, he's not spectacular. He's not a winner. He's made to the playoffs once in 4 seasons with the Vikings. He has 1-2 in his postseason in his career.
I would say the one thing that Kirk Cousins can always say, and you can never take away from him, he has a better winning percentage at Lambeau than Aaron Rodgers does. I think I'm right on that. I think I read that. Kirk Cousins has been a great. He's really performed well against the Packers.
Well, yeah, I mean, so for Vikings fans, that's cool.
Is that true?
Well, it might be based on the games played, right?
Well, because he didn't play at Lambeau last year.
Yeah.
So he's probably only is he 2-0-1? Is he 2 because they tied at Lambeau?
Got the tie in 2018, right? They tied that season.
They lost in 2019.
That's
anyway,
an amazing small sample size number to throw out there to your chest.
Kirk was horrendous in the 2019 game.
I love how he hedged. He's like, I think I read that.
Yeah.
He's a franchise quarterback, but that's it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
The polarizing discussions are just so much fun.
Oh, man. All right. Well, this is Mackey and Judd, daily Minnesota sports, entertainment, therapy, speculation. It's free agency week in the NFL. Karl Anthony Towns just dropped 60 points last night, which we'll talk about. Judd's hockey show all over the Wild's tumbles here over the past month. But let's get into it as we do every Tuesday. Who gets it? Who doesn't? And, boys, I'm gonna start and self-report. Who doesn't get it? Old Macadac.
Uh-oh.
Phil Mackey himself.
Oh, boy.
I spent the last 3 weeks telling you guys, hey, people in and around Brandon Scherff's family, friend circle, are sending me messages saying him and his wife, or his wife and him, he and his wife, Judd, you're the writer. You tell me. They,
the couple
would love to, if it worked out, play closer to home, which is Iowa. Mm-hmm. And Kansas City's kind of nearby, but they fixed their offensive line last year, spent a bunch of money on Joe Thuney. So the Minnesota Vikings would be that he's open to playing for the Minnesota Vikings. And I forgot that the Jaguars have $17 billion in cap space every year. And Jacksonville's not very close to Iowa, but when they offer you $52.5 million, including $30 million fully guaranteed,
yes,
you take it and you fly private back to Des Moines. I think that's probably the strategy. So he has also a $1 million Pro Bowl bonus for each year he is selected to the Pro Bowl. So I'm sorry for getting anyone excited about Brandon Scherff when the Jaguars just came in with a giant briefcase of cash.
All we can do is
cap space matters, kids. That's my life.
All we can do is pass along what we get as far as reckless speculation tips, right?
Yeah, like, we would, if we withheld that information from you guys, we wouldn't be doing our jobs.
Exactly right. I feel like in my previous life at the Strib, the goal was you got a tip, and then you researched it, right? 2 sources to confirm it, right? Like and it didn't
secondary.
Exactly, and you didn't take that scoop out of the oven until it was, ready to go and baked and ready to present. And that's fine. That is journalism at its best. And then I got to Score North, and things changed. And now it is incumbent upon not just Judd Zolgad, but Declan Goff, Phil Mackey as well, to turn over anything we get as soon as possible.
And just it's almost like it's journalism by community, right? Hey, here's a thing.
Yes.
It's just being thrown out. What do you guys think of this? Is this
Don't you guys love when we get tweets? Nice journalism work, Mackey.
You want journalism? Go to the Star Tribune. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
go
like
to the Pioneer Press.
You're not upholding your you've breached your ethical moral obligation to vet this. No, I just got a tip.
I feel like we do a good job, though, of, all right, this is legitimate. Like, this is something that's more trusted. And then we always put the reckless speculation, binder on it. But I think the Vikings are finding out because right, perfect world, and this is what a lot of fans are saying too is, well, just bring Kirk back and just give him the help that he needs, right? Bring Kirk back and then sign a couple offensive linemen and then sign some defensive players and okay, well, there is a salary cap and. Going into free agency, there's a handful of teams that had like $60 million in cap space. The Jaguars seemingly always one of them. And, when you're Brandon Scherff, that money talks. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. So I'll self-report. And money talks. Money talks. Cap space matters.
Speaking of money matters, you know who does not get it? The Minnesota Vikings for continually going down the defensive tackle route in free agency. Let me read you the money that they have given to defensive tackles since 2020.
Okay.
They gave Michael Pierce a $27 million contract. They gave Dalvin Tomlinson a $19 million contract. Or excuse me, a $21 million contract. And they gave now Harrison Phillips 19.5. So 27 plus 21 plus 19.5. My St. Cloud State math tells me that is $67.5 million that they have put in defensive tackles. Now, I know the length of those contracts don't always get paid out, but that's still a significant sized money that they have prioritized at two positions that they've still not seen results at. The Vikings' rush defense was terrible in 2020. They ranked 27th. They were 26th last year. They continue to put money at positions that really, I'm not going to say they don't matter, because obviously the Vikings were a sieve, right, on a rush defense the last two seasons, but $67.5 million in contracts to three defensive tackles. What the hell is the point? I think that's foolish to be spending that much money.
So are you saying like the defensive tackle is a non-important position and that they should just like draft guys in the third round, or what do you
I would say two things. Yeah. Try to hit more in the draft, but also $67.5 million in defensive tackles. That seems illogical to be spending that much money over the last 3 off seasons now at a position that you just aren't good at.
In fairness, the first two were one GM, and this is another GM coming in saying, I don't want Michael Pierce anymore, or whatever. He's just like, he's only played a handful of games over 2 seasons. So I think if it was all Rick Spielman, I would say, okay, well, yeah, dude, you just signed these 2 guys, and now you're signing Harrison Phillips. But scheme change, front office change, I draw a line and say, all right, if you guys feel like the incumbent defensive tackles aren't what you want in your new scheme, Ed Donatel, then okay, like my argument would be if you've got limited cap space and guards are flying off the board, fixing the offensive line is the top priority. So like I side with you from that perspective. But if they want to come in here and blow up some of the old pieces and bring in new pieces and younger pieces, like, I have a hard time getting too mad at them.
Yeah,
Judd,
I don't.
What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, Judd.
I was surprised because of the priority they put on the position. So I don't have a problem if you're flush with cap space. Yeah, heck yeah, let's go add a defensive tackle here, linebacker there, sirloin steak there. But when you don't, I mean, the offensive line's important. But let's cut to the chase here. Right now, you've got one, maybe you think, starting cornerback. And you can draft one, and that's great, and start him, and that's great. I hope it works. But, yeah, when you have as little cap space as the Vikings have, which, by the way, with Pierce being cut and the new agreement here, I think they're still probably around the cap itself. Like, they're not – they have yet to tell us how they're going to create sufficient room.
Well, but they will, like,
they will, but
they have a plan.
But what I'm saying is, I am surprised, but they're still going to be close. And the fact is, I'm to Declan's point, I'm surprised that they went with the position based on the availability of money. That's true.
So this is just sort of an estimation, but they can probably clear enough money for 3 impactful free agent signings, but not like Brandon Scherff money, but just 3. And I think Harrison Phillips is probably one of them. So if you've got, and again, this is loose, but if you've got 3 units to upgrade your roster,
yep,
is Harrison Phillips, should he be one of them? Right? Should he? And this is probably to Declan's point. Should he be one of those 3?
That's why I agree with Declan.
And I don't know. I need to see it all play out first. I feel like it's it's hard to sit here now and have like definitive opinions because we don't know. We don't know.
In fact, you know what? That leads me to my who does not get it, and I don't mean to pick on people, but when this process is done, please do not in a year from now inundate me with tweets if the Vikings sign a bunch of veteran players to one-year contracts and tell me they were really active. What are you talking about? Last year is a perfect example. Dalvin Tomlinson signed a legit free agent, if I'm not mistaken, 2-year contract. Okay, so and it's not long-term, but he was paid. The Vikings then signed a series of guys, Patrick Peterson, Xavier Woods. I'm trying to run through them in my head, mostly on the defensive side of the ball, to 1-year contracts. Those are not impact. Oh, they were active. Those are bargain bin. And look, Patrick Peterson in his day was great. So I'm not denigrating him one bit, but he was at a point, and I think remains at a point in his career where he is close to the end and he is signing 1-year contracts, and that's fine. The point, though, is if you think that, well, the Vikings went crazy, they've signed all these guys, 1-year contracts are not being super active. It's filling in needs. There's a difference, in my opinion, between multi-year free agent contracts that address needs and saying, oh my God, we have no corners. Let's go sign some to 1-year contracts. That's not really investing. That's short-term stopgap, basically fixes. Like you're trying to glue things in, right? I'll put some glue here and some glue there. That's not what I consider to be being really active as far as making significant moves. Those are multi-year contracts.
Yeah, ideally you're bringing guys in that are going to, sort of be staples for 2 or 3 seasons, right? Mm-hmm. And they're in their prime, and
absolutely.
Where I will say, I'll go this route. Where I will say that Kwesi gets it on the Harrison Phillips signing is his age. He's 26 years old.
Yes.
I've kind of wondered, all right, what are they going to do here? So they're bringing Kirk back. Does that mean they're just going to try and pile everything into the next couple seasons? Are they going to sign 29, 30-year-old free agents that are in win-now mode but could go off the cliff at some point? Harrison Phillips is a 3-year window guy. He's going to be 26, 27, 28 over the duration of that contract. And so that speaks to more of a longer, and long-term in the NFL is 3 years. There is no such thing as like 7-year long-term visions in the NFL.
You better be playing 10 years from now, Mackey.
Yeah. And so I keep looking at 2023, 2024 as an important part of this window because I think that's when you start to look at drafting a quarterback. That's when, I think some of these aging players with big salaries are off your books and you're bringing in young players that you've drafted. So I'm not head over heels on the Harrison Phillips contract. Which is why I partially side with Declan, but I love that he's 26 years old, and if he fits Ed Donatello's plan for turning a bad defense into a competent defense, then I'm okay with that too.
And I think that's where I agree completely on what constitutes a real free agent signing. Like this is, right? 26, second contract, got paid. When you go out in what essentially becomes, I think, the second wave of this process and sign a 32, 33-year-old player. Again, that's a 1-year contract. That's not really being in. That's like quick fix, right?
Yeah, like Bashaud Breeland, flawed guys like Bashaud Breeland.
Exactly. This is a real, legit, to your point, long-term move that hopefully works for three years, and who knows, 3 years plus maybe.
Yeah. All right, back to Declan.
All right, I'll say who gets it. It is our guys, our friends, Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max Kellerman. Here's what they had to say about Kirk Cousins with Dan Graziano on ESPN Radio yesterday morning.
You see, I think this is hot news just because from what you said, Dan, but also the fact that Aaron Rodgers is now coming back in the division, and it feels like the Vikings are once again stuck where they always are.
I'd say it's hot news for the reason that, Dan, you articulated. It's news in the sense, like, look at this as an example of how to be. Kirk Cousins is an average starting quarterback. Starting from when they started franchising him in Washington, he has made out as though he's one of the best quarterbacks of his generation.
So if I'm Lamar Jackson, if I'm Kyler Murray, I don't care if they're giving me a contract extension right now. Bet on myself, take a couple franchise tags, and then go to the market and set records.
As Dancing Judd gives his little
love that
hip
song.
shake there.
Love that song.
Little
That's
Nelly.
great stuff.
What song was that, Judd?
I have no idea, but I know the song like I know it, and I like it. I have no idea who sings it. I have no idea what it's called, but I don't care. I was dancing to it.
You didn't get hot in here in 2003 with Nelly.
That's what I'm saying.
You didn't do that.
Oh yeah, yes. I know the song. I don't know who sings it. I don't know what it's called, but yes, I remember it well.
So I was on the prom committee it was the homecoming committee, like student council homecoming committee in 2003.
I could see you being on that
too.
Yeah, I can totally see this.
And we wanted the theme that year to be hot in here, and everything. It was great. It was be hot in here, and T-shirts. We even had T-shirts printed off and stuff. And then one of the teachers, about a week before homecoming, finally listened to the song. I was like, wait a second. The second line of that song is, "Take off all your clothes." No, not a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds taking their clothes off. So they put the kibosh on hot in here.
Wait, so what became of the T-shirts?
I don't know. I don't remember.
So you have twice been involved in the idea for T-shirts that didn't see the light of day.
Yeah, the other one was a cease and desist from Dunkin' Donuts for a Royce and Mackey Dunkin' Donuts logo shirt. They literally sent a cease and desist, and we had to burn the T-shirts. It's like 10 years ago.
But I do think that Max, Jay Will, Keyshawn, they talked about the Kirk Cousins contract yesterday on ESPN radio, and it's amazing the amount of money that Kirk has been able to pull here since 2016. This from Spotrac. No quarterback has earned more cash than Kirk Cousins. He's earned even more than Aaron Rodgers. He's earned more than Matt Ryan. $159 million for Kirk Cousins, and QB cash earned since 2016. Rodgers the next closest at 152.
And then you wonder, well, why are his teams always 9 wins? Why is he? He literally is an 8-win average quarterback. His career is exactly 59-2. Well, it's not his fault. Well, if he's not able to overcome deficiencies created by his high salary and cap number, then it kind of is his fault. He's not worth the value of that contract. He's not actively shipwrecking every game, but it is his fault.
It is his fault, but I guess I would ask this question: does he care? Because he is breaking the bank.
No,
it is. I hate to say it, but it's genius.
Let's frickin' go.
Let's frickin' go.
Oh, God. All right. Who doesn't get it? I am going to continue the conversation that Dex started by saying, I think that Max Kellerman does not get it, and here's why. Taking the Cousins idea sounds great. Like, hey, bet on yourself. Just go bet on yourself. But if I'm Lamar Jackson, I play a style of game. I play a style of game in which, God forbid, something could go very wrong quickly. So I know that I can get paid, and it might not be exactly what I want, but I'm going to get paid, right? But I also get insurance. So if I get hurt, I still get paid. If I'm on the last year of my contract and God forbid my knee blows out, I'm in huge trouble. So I think it's the grace of God that Kirk has been very fortunate. And Kirk plays a game that doesn't probably, I think we can all safely say, lend itself to being hurt, right? Lamar Jackson plays a very different game. So I think when you say, hey, follow that Cousins plan is genius, be careful what you're saying, because depending on the player, the results could be different. And if you get hurt, you could be screwed far more. Where if I'm a pocket passer, I probably do take that approach.
I actually think Kirk's durability is one of the more underlooked at, underrated parts about. I'll praise him. He's always available, except for the one time he got COVID. But everybody was getting COVID, Omicron. So you do have to praise him. When you sign him to a contract, you don't have to wonder, is he going to miss 5 games? No, is he going to get banged up or something? Is he going to be unreliable? Is he going to get arrested? Probably not. Going to go on a limb and say, no, he's not going to get arrested.
No,
you know who gets it? Our friends at Mayo Clinic. All right. So as men enter their 30s and 40s, and Declan's entering his 30s, Judd entered his 50s. I'm in my mid 30s, going to be 37, so I'm kind of right in this wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. It might be time to see a urologist who can just get out in front of this. Can help with prostate, urinary, Health. Physicians at Mayo Clinic Men's Health help men of all ages with issues such as infertility, prostate and bladder conditions, you name it. So it's always good to get out in front of that type of thing if you're entering your 30s and 40s. You can request an appointment at menshealth.mayoclinic.org. That's menshealth.mayoclinic.org. Okay. I have a non. Do you guys have any other Vikings ones that we can clear out here? Because I have a non-Vikings one. Okay.
Nice.
Who doesn't get it? I'm going to go with people who wonder why the Twins aren't getting more media coverage. Don't get it. Got a couple tweets about that over the last couple of days. Like, why haven't you guys talked about the Twins more? Or, well, the Twins are making a lot of moves. What's the deal? Why aren't people talking about it? Because the Twins haven't earned fans' trust enough to just jump right back into talking about them because they made a couple trades. The Twins haven't won a playoff game in 18 years. They've squandered some really talented rosters by being complacent at the trade deadline and in free agency. If they start to win again, the buzz will return. But I don't think the Twins deserve the benefit of the doubt. Just, we're all excited about Twins baseball again. It's like, yeah, Sonny Gray, awesome. I'm a big Gio Urshela guy. I think that's great. Okay, go get Trevor Story. Force people to talk about you and to come to your games and pay money and bring families to games by being exciting and winning and competing at a high level. So, I'm not quite there yet with the Twins.
Yeah, it's tough because like if they get Trevor Story, I could potentially be all in. I really could. And I put out like my first legitimate Twins take tweet over the weekend, and my God, the Twins take police were out in full force on Sunday because Dex tweet's handle was absolutely blowing up with Twins fans upset over my Sonny Gray take because I had one incorrect fact that he was not under contract through 2023, but also, this guy doesn't get it. Well, dudes, your ball club has lost 18 consecutive playoff games. You fell on your face in 2021. You have to earn the trust back. And I think these moves so far have been cool. They've been fun to talk about, but there's so much more that this team has to accomplish to get back in the limelight of Minnesota media and other things as well.
Yeah. I think Judd's so bored with the Twins. He just left the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the Twins have to earn people's respect and trust back by winning games. The people, if you build it, they will come. Right? That's what they said in that Field of Dreams movie. Let's take a quick pause here because we got to talk about Cat dropping 60 points. 60 points last night. Mackey and Judd.